Hey, what is up, my guys? So today I think we all need to have a little conversation about these reprints that are coming out for Origins and Spirit Forge. I had comments on yesterday or a couple days video about how they're landing at certain stores. I know my store has been sold out of Spirit Forge, the allocation for a bit, and with Origins they're out as well. Um, I think we just kind of need to be a little realistic that with the current demand, I don't know if it's enough. And I was one of the parts I was talking about in my original information about the reprint, but I think it goes a little deeper than that. And I think I have to do my due diligence and look at the numbers and to kind of tell you why I don't think it's enough. So originally, the figure we had was about 75K of Origins and 25K of Spirit Forge. That's not much in reality. From Riot's talk at, I believe it was Gen Con, they did a little display where they talked about how Riftbound at Unleashed to Vendetta had double the amount of player turnout. There was 7,000 stores who ran the pre-Rift event. So if we'll use the bigger number of Origins of 75,000 over 7,000, that means every store got 10 booster boxes. And some of the big stores are obviously going to get more, and some are going to get maybe a case, maybe a couple loose booster boxes, depending on their allocation numbers. That's going to be thin. When you have more players joining constantly, who want to get into this game, who want to get some of these older booster boxes that they might not get again, it's not enough. Um, and one of the things I want to do is why I think specifically these two products are going to be a big struggle in the long term based on the current metrics. So I always like to go by the numbers. I know I'm showing you this right here. 119 on the market. There's about 30 listings of Chinese on here products. So it's about 80. We're about to hit sub 80. We're getting 12 sold a day, which is insane, even at the $300 level. So buying pressure is still constantly there. It's not going away anytime soon. And if this box does dip, it's only going to get the demand will even get higher as prices lower. So we're going to have this synthetic floor. Shops aren't going to be selling this at MSRP anymore. If they get anything in, they're going to be selling it close to market price because people are clearly willing to pay that. So say this reprint lands, I don't think TCG player will be affected that much. So buying off TCG player now could be your best bet because by the time they land, it could be even higher. So where would you go as a consumer? Go to your store, try to get part of the allocation, be looking on secondary places like Facebook Marketplace, Discords, or there are just flat out Facebook groups who do buying and selling. Those would be the best places to pick up boxes. But then you go, where am I going to get cases? Most stores, if this reprint really is the figures we're getting, aren't going to get many cases, nor are they going to be willing to sell cases. So those are going to be even thinner. And the same thing is going to go for Spirit Forge. So I went through, I looked at some of the analytics about why these two sets are so in desire. And the one thing I came back to is just the power of these. A lot of these legends are still being very playable. They're winning. Irelia is very strong, but also some of the other cards. So I'm gonna click over this website. This is called TCG CSV. This is one of the websites I pull my data from. You can go on this website, has every TCG on TCG player, and what you do is you can go down here, and I have two of them up real quick. It gives you the prices and let's see right here, the prices of every card in Origin based on their low, market, high, and everything if they have on direct seller. But then they also have another tab for product where it tells me the product ID and it gives me like what is their rarity and everything. So what I go in here is I'll just go and download the CSV, and then I can take that and I can run some code against it. And we'll click over here. So you can see I brought in all of it and I sorted all of them by epics and rares depending on the set, and I got their prices, and then we got this nice summary that I got from it. You can see there's 42 the counts of all them, 38, 36, 28. There's less epics in Vendetta than all the rest, which Vendetta is actually a smaller set in the grand scheme of things. And the same thing on the rare cards, there's only 46 compared to the previous sets of 85, 60, 60. But look at these average prices. The epic cards in Origins are double the second highest of Spirit Forge. Median is higher than almost all of them. And the max prices, we have a legend that's worth 68, an epic card that's worth almost $69. Same thing for rares. It's triple everything. With the lowest being Vendetta at 23 cents is the average price of a rare card, with the median being 20. That doesn't mean too much. Most people are visual learners. So one of the things that I did was I took it over to a bar graph. You can see the absolute power in the epic and rare cards in Origins and Spirit Forge to an extent in the epics. It's actually not that much in the rare cards. It's very equivalent to Unleashed, at least, but it's just towering over these in the power strength. And the same thing in the line graph. You can see, here's a good example of the rare cards. Look at the stark difference between the most expensive. I mean, you're getting down to $23 and it's still remaining like a chunk ahead. And same thing for the epic cards when I ran it. It's almost ahead for it is ahead for the whole majority of it. It is. It's just these cards are so strong. So one of the things I had to approach my buddy who's actually very much in the market. I will refer to him as Uncle Iro. About hey, why do we see this with Origins and Spirit Forge? What is this strength related to? And it comes down to when these cards were created, specifically the epic and rares. It has to do with these cards are more universal, where they can be used in every type of deck, even on future sets that are coming out, like an Unleashed and Vendetta, where the epics and rares in those sets are more directly tied to the cards in those sets. And then you go like, okay, are these sets actually producing any new legends that are being popular? I mean, Vendetta, we do have this new Kennen that's popping off. I'm not going to call him an S tier, but according to the ranks, he'd be about an A tier. It's still a very strong deck, and I wouldn't be shocked if it wins an RQ anytime soon. But what else? You have a Mel and a Jace maybe added to the mix. So there's a lot of strength in those cards where they're just more universal. They can go in so many more decks than just Origins and Spirit Forge, where we can get sets 5, 6, 7, and they still might be needed for those decks in the future, and it will only pump those numbers up more. So then it goes back, okay, clearly Riot has an issue. How do you correct for something like this? Do the most obvious one is you just reprint it, just reprint more product, because that's what you can clearly do, is just keep reprinting those types of things. But is that really the best answer? I'm going to go with no. You can't just keep reprinting old products for the sake of needing to keep those cards. You can do something like Pokemon, where they'll do specialty sets and they'll jam pack it with competitive cards in there, as well as top art cards that more people would focus on for the collector side. But then at least it gives power back to the players who want to get those cards, secondary from people ripping the packs and everything, which is great. That's a great way to do it. You can do the Yu-Gi-Oh strat, where just every set just comes out, power creep it every time. That's obviously not going to be a way you want to do that. No one likes a good power creep every time. So getting some of those cards in the future, Riot's got an uphill battle. They're going to have to figure out what to do, and it is going to be a struggle. Now this takes me back to One Piece. So the year, would that be 2023 was when OPO 5 came out. So I believe then that means Romance Dawn would have come out in 2002, OPO 1. And you can see, the price of this this is 1,300. This is wave 2. Let it be known, this is not wave 1. This is ain't Blue Bottom. Those are about $4,500. I do recognize that. Those will be very limited because of how much. So we had Awakening of the New Era come out. And same thing where, oh, wow, everyone started catching on. Older sets started getting very expensive. And how did One Piece or Bandai react? They reprinted not just the first, I don't even know if they reprinted OPO 1. They reprinted the crap out of OPO 2 through 5 and tanked all of those markets. I think that was a very big learning curve for them where, you can't just mass reprint a bunch of sets at once. Otherwise, it can very affect the market. And so the reason why I bring up these two specifically, one, this is base set. It's always going to hold a premium. I mean, it was selling for almost 1.8K in May, so a couple months ago. It's definitely come back down. I think this just is the greater pullback of all TCGs, so I'm not going to say that's a One Piece exclusive thing. But when it comes to these reprints, how do you react accordingly? I keep buying into the strength of the set. I will keep buying the ones that have very good art. I am not a big One Piece fan, but I do have to recognize that OPO5 with this Gear 5 Luffy was a very nice card. It's the first one. This is one of the big reasons One Piece started going up. That card was amazing, and it was expensive, and it's still very it's insanely hard. They've even repeated it with like a gold foil at this point. Um, so when it comes to, we're looking at these reprints that need to happen, I'm going to be putting my focus into sets with amazing art and strength. So that takes me back to, what two sets might have amazing art and amazing strength are the two that they need to reprint the most. So, and these are needed for play. These are the ones people want to collect. I just can't rave about these two sets enough. That's not me saying Unleashed is bad. That's not me saying Vendetta is bad. I think they're very great sets. I think people are still sleeping on Vendetta. And it's going to be the Vendetta and Radiance are going to be the two sets that probably had one of the biggest leaps in player base of coming into the game. I'm seeing so many more people talking about it. Radiance is going to be dropping around Worlds time for League of Legends, so they're going to be pumping the crap out of that. So if it's pretty obvious where I'm going to be putting my money through this whole thing. I am looking at Spirit Forge and I am looking at Origins. Any reprints that come up, I will be buying, but I am going to be completely transparent. I'm buying at these prices too. If I want loose boxes, I'm looking on other secondaries. If I'm wanting cases, I'm buying from stores who are willing to sell it, but there isn't many online on the secondary. It's come to the point where TCG Player is the only place I can find decent case prices, because eBay's even higher. There, I think the cases on TCG Player right now are about 1.8K without tax and shipping, and then the cases on eBay are about $2,000, 2,000 to 2,100. So you're paying quite the premium if you're going to be going on eBay. Maybe you can beat one of the auctions or something, but I just want it to be known. Reprints aren't scary; they're inevitable. Are they going to reprint these even more? They possibly could. How do you react? You need to just understand and focus on the things that are going to be high value in the future. I truly believe that's going to be your Origins, that's going to be your Spirit Forge. And from here on out, that those are the two I'm really going to be focusing on. If I'm getting cases of Unleashed and Vendetta at MSRP, great. I love MSRP. I think that's the best price point. Even lower is even better. So yeah, I just kind of think we need to have a little talk. Like I said, I think people need to realize that there's a reason that these two are popular. Their strength and their artwork are going to constantly be carrying these sets, and it's not just a pretty one-dimensional thing. There's a lot of reasons. So with that, you guys, like and subscribe. Please let me know what you guys think down. Please, have you seen your stores getting reprints and everything? I kind of want to know where you guys are at on everything. But for now, peace out.